Hey guys, this is TheDarkenedRose, your editor for the podcast. And before I let you guys go into this episode, you probably already noticed that there's no audio spectrum wave this time around. Last time when I did it, it was the first episode, to put up on YouTube. So it was the first video podcast, quote unquote. And putting the audio spectrum wave on there, I realized that it took a hell of a lot of space. It took up maybe 30, 40 gigabytes of space. And I'm kind of low on hard drive space right now. So I'm trying to keep a backup of all of the projects and stuff that's relating to Legion205 just in case something bad happens. So I'm going to not have any sort of graphics up on the video this time around. Maybe for a while too, until I can acquire a external hard drive, which is what I'm trying to do. So that's just a disclaimer. I'm hoping that I acquire that before we actually do anything like actual video podcast where we, have ourselves up on a camera and do it, so that there is no problems like these. So storage problems can be a pain in the ass. That's what I'm saying. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode of the podcast. And as always, make sure you leave feedback in the comment section below and share the video around. All right. Later. Stay classy. Max.
Rose.
Okay, that seems cool enough.
That's fine after 3.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to do 20 billion callouts.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, just totally sure about that.
All right. Well, also, since we're starting now, just a little warning for people listening. You might hear background noise. It's the magic noise of New York City. It's really loud. I apologize.
New York City, it's a magical place.
It sucks. But guess what we're talking about today? Rose, you want to start us off?
Today, we're going to be talking about summer games done quick. And I think we should actually give a sort of introduction as to what that means. So, in the winter and in the summer, there is a event organization called Games Done Quick. And you will usually see them on the front page of Twitch during those 2 seasons. And what they do is, what the title says, speedrunners from around the world come by and do speedruns for charity. And
they make a lot of money.
And this summer, it's Summer Games Done Quick, and it was during this month. I think it was July 2nd that they started, and it goes on for a week.
Straight up a week.
Yeah.
It's nonstop.
It's nonstop for an entire week, full of games being speedrun, and it's crazy. It gets insane.
Kind of to the point where people will almost fall asleep during the runs. Not the runner themselves, but the people in the crowd.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that are really dedicated to staying up for it.
The Final Fantasy VII run, but that was later. That run was 8 hours.
Yeah, and because of that, my sleeping schedule's super fucked.
Oh yeah, no, he can't sleep.
It's been more than a week since the event was held, and
I miss it already.
Yeah, I miss it too. But the one thing that kind of maybe suffer in return of that is just I can't sleep well anymore. I've been having a hell of a lot of trouble sleeping.
We've been literally having to yell at him to try to sleep, but he just can't do it.
I just can't do it. And despite that, I had a hell of a lot of fun watching SGDQ. I think it was the very first time that I've been super dedicated to staying up for it. So I kind of deserve it, to be honest. So
I can understand that though, because even I try to stay up for some runs because obviously again, this is an event that goes on for an entire week, and they play a lot of games, so yeah, they don't stop once people go to sleep.
Yeah, they really play a lot of games during that event, and this year's lineup for this summer for Summer Games Done Quick,
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
It was awesome. They had an awesome list for this year.
Yeah, they started with Nier Automata.
Yeah, they did. And I was actually really surprised that they started with that game because I think Nier Automata came out, was it this year? I don't know if it did come out this year.
Yeah, it did. 2017.
Fuck.
Well, at least I think it did. We'll have to do research on that later.
Yeah.
But not only did they start with Nier Automata, but they started with a runner that is named Half Coordinated, and he is disabled, but he can only use his one hand, and he literally sped run the game with one hand.
Yeah, it was a run that was just completely one-handed. He had the controller on his lap, and he was just using only one hand for it.
Yeah, and then he covered his hand in something else. I forgot what it was.
I think it was the mask of like the director of Nier Automata. I forgot what his name was.
The mask of the director, was that it?
Yeah, like the director like has his mask on like at all times, even in interviews.
Oh my god.
And that's what he had, and it was for his hand.
That's actually kind of awesome.
It was awesome. I think he gave a explanation for like why he does it one-handed. I don't think like he is like disabled. I think he just says like he has a condition that causes his
well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where it's like it's hard to use the other hand, and that's literally why he calls himself Half Coordinated. Like he's even like very cool dude because he himself makes jokes about it, and he's like totally not like how you call it upset about it if somebody makes a joke.
Yeah, or like sensitive about it.
Yeah, sensitive. There you go. And he actually did ending A, which I believe is like supposed to be the canon ending. I don't remember.
I think that is the canon ending.
So like he did that in an hour, 43 minutes and 5 seconds, which is crazy.
It's crazy, especially since it's a one-handed run. I don't think I could ever do something like that.
Can't even do that shit in two-handed.
It was, I don't know, just like watching the entire run itself, like along with the commentary. It was a lot of fun, and it was just like super astonishing. It was just like sometimes like I would just like stare like at the camera that I like point at his controller, like how he was playing.
Yeah, they did that sometimes just to prove that he's doing it with one hand, even though again he covered his other hand, so there's no real proof there. It's just like, yeah, he's doing it one hand.
Yeah, it's just really impressive.
Yeah, it was really cool to see.
It was a hell of a great start for it.
Yeah, and then obviously, that's just the first game out of like a freaking crazy amount. So there's like the next one was Halo Combat Evolved, which I don't think you watched the whole thing because you weren't super interested.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times already.
Yeah, me and Dan watched it, and it was very cool to see like the same tricks that you see usually, and then there's one trick that we saw. It was like elevator grenade jumping, and it was like, what? You can literally elevate yourself up with grenades, and it's fucking awesome.
Oh, I was there when that happened.
Yeah. But it was by Garish. I don't know if we should name all the people. I mean, there's a lot of runners. So, and we're trying to make this one a shorter podcast for you guys because, it's only two of us, and we're talking about something that basically is something we love.
Yeah. Like the reason why actually, like, because you brought it up, that's only two of us is because we were actually the ones that watched it the most and had the most interest in the event itself.
Yeah, like there were times where like the others in the Legion did watch, but not as much, and which is totally fine. They don't have to watch it. It's just like, the reason we wanted to do this kind of podcast with just two of us is that we could talk more in depth about it, and a lot more runs can be discussed instead of just like one or two that they watched or whatever.
Yeah, like we kind of agreed, like just like it should be just us two, like to talk about this.
Yeah, and again, they don't have to watch it. It's not mandatory. It's just how we wanted to do this podcast.
Yeah, but like during that day, that was day one of it all. Like they had a lot of really good games for that day. To be honest,
they did.
Like I never expected like the first day to be like so interesting because they usually like save the like super interesting runs until later.
Yeah. Since we are talking about the first day, you want to just name off the games that were first day?
So the first day, they obviously had the pre-show, like to get things like really to get the ball rolling for everything, and then they did Nier Automata for NDA rank, I think.
Yeah, NDA.
Halo Combat Evolved on Legendary, a game known as Azure Striker Gun Vault 2. Any percent?
That game looks cool.
I didn't see that run.
You should have, dude. It's like Mega Man, but like with its own twist. And it's really, really cool. But keep going with the list.
Yeah. Then there's Battle Kid Fortress Apparel from
Jennifer
80%. The reason why we know that game is because Game Grumps played it. That was a lot of fun to watch, and even the runner made that joke.
The Jennifer Dunked Me joke.
He referenced it. It was really hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. And he literally like beat that boss that like the Game Grumps couldn't get through in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. And then afterwards, there was Diddy Kong Racing any percent, which was super impressive to watch.
Always fun to watch.
Luigi's Mansion any percent, now out of bounds.
Speaking of Luigi's Mansion, we got Rose here who does some speedruns on it. Rose.
I'm actually practicing the round for
Give
it.
the people what they want.
But I actually need to buy like the Japanese version of the game, and also I need to buy a GameCube.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't actually accept emulation for the runs.
Yeah, so you're gonna need to work on that and get better.
I'm gonna have to work on that, but that also gives me an opportunity to play other GameCube games.
That's true.
And then there's Metroid Prime 100%, which was a lot of fun to watch again. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, 80% glitchless, and Guacamelee Gold Edition, 100%.
I actually kind of liked watching the Guacamelee run because I recently played Guacamelee with a friend of mine over PS4 because, share plays a thing. So we played that co-op, and we didn't do 100% like this guy, but we did enjoy it. It was fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, like that was the first day, and it was off to a great start already. There was a lot of awesome games to watch. I've never seen a Symphony of the Night run, though. And
I missed it too. I missed the Symphony of the Night run.
Symphony goes for Diddy Kong Racing.
You should have watched that. That was a great run.
Oh no, I watched that run.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I watched it with you.
The
remember?
whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you watched the whole thing or not.
Yeah, I was there. I said like I was gonna stay up for like Battle Kid all the way to Symphony of the Night.
Didn't you also want to watch Okami, but we couldn't?
Yeah. I was just super tired that night.
We after Guacamelee, like this was like during the night, so this was like really late, and then like obviously all the games that were done was like Okami, Strider, which Strider was another game that Game Grumps played.
Yeah, this one was the new one though. The
this is the 2014 one.
The first day, like we weren't really like super prepared. We didn't really like set our sleep schedules for SGDQ, so
nope.
we just like called it there, and like we woke up the next day, which led to day 2. And to be honest, I think we actually started I started watching when Lion King was being ran.
I caught the tail end of that.
It was really funny to watch. The guy died like at least 3 times, but it was a really good run nonetheless.
Yeah. And then there's like the quote unquote like Disney block of Lion King and Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. I didn't watch that one, but
I did not watch that one either. I actually took that time to make some food.
Yeah, I watched a recording of the Crash Bandicoot run after that. I couldn't watch it live, but we did watch the one game after, which was Spyro Year of the Dragon, and that was fun.
That was a lot of fun to watch. I didn't expect it to be like entertaining, but it was it was a lot of fun.
I think it's more like nostalgia because I remember playing one of the Spyro games. I forget which one it was, but it was an older one.
I think mine was like the first game, the first Spyro game. Yeah, but that guy did a 100 egg run, which is basically just 100%.
Yep.
And that was just it was really fun to watch. There was some really cool tricks he pulled too.
Yeah, and then of course we have Ape Escape, which I don't think we watched, but the one that I wanted to watch fully to completion after that was something that I've been hoping for, which is Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. I love watching Super Monkey Ball on speedruns.
Yeah, and there was the Xbox one, which had like all the
Super Monkey Ball games, including some of the unreleased levels that they couldn't make for Super Monkey Ball 3.
Yeah, so that was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. And to be honest, I actually did not expect a different runner to be running this game, because usually with this game a runner known as Jeff would be running the game, but this year another guy called J Cool was running it. Yeah,
and he there were some mistakes in it, but obviously that's expected in a marathon sense. By the way, like there are different kind of speed runs, like for SGDQ and AGDQ. All of these runs are marathon runs, which is basically like just keep going, don't stop even if you make a mistake, because you're not here to go for a world record. You're here to show off stuff.
Yeah, you're here to like just do a speed run for charity. So even then, like I feel like I would be the worst person for that sort of thing.
Why, you feel like you would want to start over?
I don't know if you see me in my Outlast speedruns, Max, but
oh, I've seen them.
I reset a lot.
Yeah.
Like I reset a hell of a lot. So it would be like an itchy trigger finger. It'd be like, oh wait, I can't reset. This is a marathon.
You can't. And if you did reset, you'd immediately probably be kicked out because again, it's not kicked out, but your run would be over because again, they're not trying to have people go for world records. Like if you get a world record, fuck yeah, but you're not going for it.
Yeah. And then after Super Monkey Ball, there was a game called Freedom Planet. I didn't see that one.
I didn't get to see that one.
And then the Sonic block came up, and actually I did not watch much of it because
I watched some of it. And, I don't remember if it was Sonic Generations or Colors, but one of the two games had crashed, so they had to pause the run to get to that spot again.
I think that was Sonic Colors.
It was one of the two, but the Sonic block, Sonic is a fast character. Gotta go fast. That's basically the motto in the speedrunning community.
Oh man, yeah, but I did not get to see Sonic CD or Generations because I actually had to go out with my family to a restaurant. But I did catch some of Sonic Colors at the restaurant, and I actually saw that moment when it happened. Like the game.
The Sonic block was fun to watch.
It was a lot of fun. I was so glad that I caught that part though whenever the game crashed because it was really funny because it's like, oh, did the game just freeze? And it's like. And then everyone was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because freaking the game literally crashed and they didn't know what to do for a second. It was like, "Well, we gotta get back."
Well, getting back to what it was, they had to stop the timer and stuff, which is actually one of the biggest mercies of SGDQ or any GDQ actually. Is just
stop the timer.
Yeah, that they stopped the timer because something fucked up. Because there's always gonna be a fuck up, especially with the setup that they have. The setups that they have from what I'm hearing is super complex and crazy.
Dude, there's a lot of shit that goes into it.
Yeah, it's it's prone to fucking up. That's what I would say about it.
Yeah, but we had another quote unquote block after the Sonic block, which was the Mirror's Edge block for the two Mirror's Edge games that are out.
Yeah. Obviously the classic Mirror's Edge was on 80% glitchless, that was a lot of fun to watch too. They did do some tricks that I would consider them to be glitches, but it's more like exploits, to be honest.
Yeah, glitches sometimes are a gray area.
Yeah, it really is a gray area. And then Catalyst came up, which I never saw a run of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And watching the run, that was awesome. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was a New Game Plus run, right?
That was a New Game Plus run. They also did a lot of crazy tricks on it. And they also showed an Easter egg too, because in the original Mirror's Edge there is a part of the game where a security guard as you're going through a vent, you just hear him man, there's just a lot of rats going through the vents, and because of that, the Easter egg for that was when you shoot a circle in a sniper segment in the original game. A giant rat would run through the streets, making havoc.
I've never seen that, and now I need to look it up after this.
Yeah, and so in Mirror's Edge, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, they brought it back, and
that's pretty cool.
It was really strange because they were running on a monolith track. I'll call it. I don't know if it's actually a monolith. I think it was just more like a train track or something like that.
Yeah.
And when they got to a certain point, they stopped in the center of an arc for it, and just stared towards the abyss that was ahead of them, and a giant rat train just drove right towards them and killed them.
Damn.
So it was really funny that they brought that back for the run.
Yep.
There was just a lot of glitches in Catalyst, and the commentators were really fucking hilarious during the entire thing.
Yeah, that's another good part about GDQs is the commentary for the couches, people on the couch, because in GDQs there's the runner, and then there's people on the couch that are their support, and then there's the crowd in the back, and then obviously the people who watch on Twitch.
Yeah, and then there's the game.
Yeah, so the people on the couch always have great commentary.
Yeah, it's definitely not perfect as always. There have always been a lot of things that have happened during GDQs. Some that have been kept on YouTube because it's the internet. But Yeah, like there's a lot of golden moments that happen in GDQ that it's just like it's always fun to like bring back because they're just like they're like one of the many moments that kind of help like like define what a GDQ is.
Yeah, especially like the later stuff at the end. I don't want to go into that right now because we're not at the end yet, but
Yeah,
we'll talk about that eventually. But the next game after the Mirror's Edge block was like Donkey Kong 64, which is holy crap, that's nostalgia.
yeah, that was nostalgia. That was 2 hours of nostalgia,
It
and
was freaking great.
and that was pretty much it for like for like day. That was it for day two.
Yeah, day 2 had a pretty good set.
Yeah, it really did. They've had like an awesome set like so far. Like we were like, God damn, they're having a lot of awesome games so far.
Yep. And then there's the beginning of the next day, which was Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. I could not catch that run because it was like pretty late at night and I was tired.
I did the same. I went to sleep.
Yeah, so we'll go through the games right now in like quick like succession real quick because like these are the ones we did not watch. So it's like the Castlevania game we just mentioned, Jet Set Radio Future.
Yep.
What is this game?
A stall.
A stall, something like that.
Don't know what that's about. And then
Try Rush Deppy. Don't know what that is.
Cluster Truck.
Cluster Truck is cool.
I really wanted to see that run, but it was 5 in the morning. I'm wasn't
Yeah,
gonna
it
stay
was
up for
pretty
that. And then a game called Defunct, Omnibus, Poi, and then the Tony Hawk block. They did Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and 4.
I couldn't catch those. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
And then they did I Am Bread, any
I Am Bread is hilarious.
And then Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight actually looks really cool.
Hollow Knight is seeming to be like, yeah, it seems like a really awesome game, to be honest. And then Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment.
I did catch that one. That was fun.
That I saw a little bit of it. It was awesome. And then they played The Wheel of Time.
And then one of the funniest runs at the GDQ, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. That was a hilarious freaking run.
So one of the coolest things about it too is that the guy running it is actually one of the helpers of the events. His name is OTDQ. With GDQ, they usually have to have like I said, they have a really like crazy setup, and to help out with the audio side of things, they have a company called Power Up Audio to help them out with it.
Yeah, and it's cool to see like the tech people behind the scenes like getting to do runs because obviously like even they are speedrunners too. Like some of them are speedrunners, and he got to do it.
And this is the director of that company actually that ran the game, OTDQ. Yeah. And he
and he had a great run.
He had an awesome run. His commentary was on the spot too.
Yeah,
I think
like
that was
an example. An example of the run, like why it's so funny, is in Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, you control two like brothers, and at one point they do hold something together, like a log or something like that. Just an example. Yeah. But in his run, he would make it so that he flies up in the air and walks on the air with the two brothers.
Yeah, and like
it's great.
I like it too because it's like he took like a very serious game and like it's an emotional game too. Like it's
very emotional.
It's one of those games that's like, oh fuck, that it's like so emotional. Like the very beginning of the game, pretty much the objective of the game is just like to help find a cure for your sick dad. And like the first thing that you do is that you take a wheelbarrow and you and your brother are, well, the two brothers actually, because you plays both of them. You're both taking him to like the doctor in the town. The first thing that he does is go to a bridge and just do that one trick where like where they go in the air with that item or that object of interest, and they just like skip through like a certain portion of the game.
So all emotional ties, cut them because it's just gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, it was just really funny, and like he talked about a lot of the skips in the game, and like there was even a lot of moments too where like he freaks out like, yeah, I got it. But like, yeah, it's just a lot of things that he said, and like there was also like a really cool moment too where like he talks about like how awesome the game was, and like what they do like amazing with it.
It's also just fun to see like speedrunners enjoy like showing off like this is a game that someone would play once and be done with it. Like he actually used this example. They said like
Yeah.
they'll play a few hours of Brothers, be done with it, and never come back. And I think he said he played like almost over hundreds of hours or something like that. I don't remember how many, but it was a lot.
Yeah. Dude is like a serious programmer too. Like he actually goes into the game and like looks for new tricks like a
Yep.
lot.
Very fun.
Yeah, he's a really awesome guy, and I actually like highly recommend following Power Up Audio if you have the chance, because those guys are really awesome. Especially OTDQ. You should be able to find him on Twitch easily.
Yep.
Um,
But after the Brothers run, there was 100% of Banjo-Kazooie, which was like again more nostalgia, like Donkey Kong 64. Like
it's definitely a game you always want to look for at a GDQ because it usually
yeah.
comes up all the time.
I'm really sad they didn't have ukulele.
Yeah,
I get it; it's a newer game, so they
Yeah.
they want to have like runs that are perfect, not perfect, but runs that are good for a GDQ.
Yeah, I feel like it was already good enough before the GDQ. It's just that no one submitted for it, and plus it was in
Probably not.
April. April is whenever the schedule gets locked up.
That's true, yeah.
So-
you barely have time to get an optimized run for a GDQ.
Yeah, so maybe HDQ next
Hopefully.
year we'll have one.
Yeah, but so there's the Banjo run 100%, which was fun. I couldn't watch all of it, but it was still pretty cool.
Yep.
And then we got the Pokemon block, which was like Pokemon Puzzle League and Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
I didn't actually see that one.
I watched the Heart Gold and Soul Silver run. I didn't watch Puzzle League, but the Heart Gold and Soul Silver run was actually kind of sad.
Why?
Because he got near the end of the game where you have to fight Red,
Oh.
but due to manipulation going wrong, he couldn't get the proper setup to fight Red, and he just couldn't do it, so he had to end the run there.
Yeah. Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, he couldn't beat Red, because Red is like... In Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver, you play the game, you get all the badges, you basically get all the badges in Johto and Kanto, beat the game, but then you have to go to Mount Silver and fight Red. His Pokemon are like level 80, but like the dude who knows doing the run, he had 3 Pokemon, and one of them was like level 5 or something, and one of them was like level 50, and that's about it.
Yeah. With the Pokemon run, like, definitely it was all about RNG and like getting it set up so that you can. It was all about manipulation of the game.
Yep.
So yeah, like hearing that, it's like, I would do the same thing. I would end the run if I wasn't able to set it up properly.
You can't really beat this character, so it's like, forget it.
Yeah, forget it. The run's over. Rip.
Yeah, it was still a good run though, but after that there was like Half-Life.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't really care too much for Half-Life. I mean, I get it, a lot of people like it, but I couldn't watch it. It was still a cool run, I heard, at least.
It was an awesome run.
Yeah. Then there's Dishonored 2. I couldn't watch that. I missed it.
And then Doom came up. Actually, I don't know.
Doom was hilarious.
Should I actually share my story too of like what happened during the Doom run?
Oh yeah, go for it.
So during the Doom run, they actually did it last year at I don't know if they did it at the AGDQ that happened
I think it
early
was
this year.
AGDQ.
Yeah, they did a run of Doom at AGDQ this year, and usually AGDQ is very early in January, and so like I said, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go pop some fireworks because this was the 4th of July when all these runs were happening. So during the run, I actually got up to go pop some fireworks with my cousins outside at the front, and after a while, like we popped a few. It was fun. Some of the neighbors were enjoying it too. And then we ran out, so my cousin and sister goes to buy another one, and this time we get bigger ones. And because of that, as we finished the last one, the absolute last one, that was like the biggest we saved for last, the cops show up.
It's like, what are you doing out here?
And it was like, it's like the movie sort of thing. Like they came in like in a black like SUV. And like you couldn't even notice them at first. Like we were popping them, we were just too busy and like admiring like how awesome the fireworks were. And then like when we were going to grab like the box like from the street, boom, the lights turn on there, and they were like,
"What are you doing?"
They were like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, they were bugging. They were bugging Rose basically.
Yeah, they were bugging me, and pretty much like the only thing they took, in case anyone's wondering, is just a Roman candle. Like we were so lucky that we popped everything that was like big and grand, because if it came any earlier, we would have lost like maybe like couple like dollars worth of stuff.
Yeah.
But we only lost.
But hey, at least you don't have to deal with them anymore.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have to deal with them anymore. But it was fucking hilarious. So like, I came back at the end of the Doom run.
The Doom run was like, okay, so the Doom run was basically get all the secrets and then beat the game. And obviously, all the secrets are like the little small collectible toys, and then finding the old style Doom levels. And they did that. But the thing about the Doom game is that you can launch yourself so high in the sky sometimes and through walls and like grab onto invisible ledges that this guy just basically broke the game, and it's so fun to watch.
Yeah,
I would suggest watching a Doom speedrun. And also, this is the 2016 Doom, like the newer one.
Yeah, not the original ones.
Yeah.
Like, the first time we saw the run, though, it was way funnier when we were, like, reacting to it than, like, this one.
Was, yeah.
Because the first time that we watched it, we were like, oh, man, I wonder how they're going to break this game, because it seemed like a game that couldn't really be broken easily. And then they started doing,
You're
like,
gonna question yourself on that a lot.
Yeah, you tend to question yourself with it. And, like, when we saw the run, he was doing the glitch, like where you can launch yourself into the air like super high, go through like many like objects and doors, and like climb invisible ledges and skip a lot of the game. And we were just like, what the fuck? We never expected this shit.
It gets crazy.
It got insane. It was still a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun to watch though this year, despite that.
And that was all of day 3 that we just talked about. So
yeah, and then I actually stayed up until Code like the end of Code Veronica X. So
I fell asleep like eventually. But before we get to Code Veronica X, we had like after Doom there was Half-Life 2, Silent Hill 2, and then the 2 Resident Evil games, 1 and Code Veronica X. And by the way, for the Resident Evil run, there was like an incentive to play as either Jill or Chris, and oh my god, Jill was winning so hard.
Jill won by a landslide by about like $4,000, I think.
It was crazy.
It was insane. Yeah, but like the Silent Hill 2 to like Code Veronica X runs were awesome. For Silent Hill 2,
horror game block, basically.
For Silent Hill 2, it was a lot of fun because like they skipped a lot of things, and like you know how like when you barely get into Silent Hill, right? Like is like when you barely run into there and then you see like the blood trail. Yeah. Like they didn't activate that portion until like very, very late into the game. It was like
pretty much.
It was like the nighttime like scenario of the game, and like they actually got to that street and the cutscene actually activated. So like that's how crazy the skips for that game could be. And it's actually not that hard. It's actually not that hard to start running the game. The runner actually said like there isn't really that many skips. All you have to do is just memorization, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of that, if anybody here, like those who are listening in, like the games that we mentioned, if you ever think about them, like, hey, maybe you can speedrun them too. Like, don't ever sell yourself short. Like, there's so many speedrunners out there. There's hundreds and hundreds, even almost like thousands almost at this point.
Yeah. That
speedrun like all sorts of games. So if there's anything that we say here that might interest you, look through it. Go on, what is it, speedrun.com, or what is it called?
Go on speedrun.com, look up the game that you're interested in running, and watch the many runs that are there. And also, highly recommend checking out the community too, because a lot of the communities on the site have a Discord, and they are way more than willing to help you with starting out with running the game. There's a lot of friendly faces out there. So
very helpful and very nice people.
Yeah, so you would be in very good hands if you're ever to do such a thing.
Yep. But the horror block is Silent Hill 2, Resident Evil, and then Code Veronica X. So those are basically like stay up till late in the night and watch these horror games.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed those runs a lot. And
I probably will be watching them on recorded because they all go on YouTube anyways.
Yeah, and for Resident Evil, it wasn't the remake, by the way. It was the original PlayStation version. No, I think I think it was a PC version they played.
Oh god.
So that was a thing, and like because it's the original version. They had like the wonky voice acting too.
Oh god.
So it was a lot of fun to watch that. I don't know if I missed it or not. I don't know if I missed the Jill sandwich part, but
you might have.
it was
You don't remember.
It was really funny to watch.
Yeah. But moving on to the next like couple games. I'm pretty sure you were asleep for these because come on, these are like in like 6 or 7 in the morning almost.
Oh yeah.
So there was like Onimusha Warlords, Shuriken,
Yep.
Alex Kidd in Shinobi World. So I guess like, you know, the Wii block. Ninja Gaiden 3, which holy shit, those games are apparently hard. So I might actually watch recordings of those.
Yep.
I can't say this for shit, so you try it.
I'm gonna butcher it too. Kiatsu Ninden Teiyundi.
So there you go.
Teiyundi.
Then there's like Marble Madness, Bucky O'Hare,
Jackal.
G.I. Joe, the Atlantis Factor. I might want to watch that because it's like a really short run.
Yeah, that's like a 10-minute long run apparently.
Yeah. And then there's Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, Castlevania Rondo of Blood, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't save all the Castlevania games for a Castlevania block.
Yeah, I'm actually like, that's really strange.
They like split them up a lot, but
Yeah.
maybe it's just like availability from the runners possibly.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, 1001 Spikes. Never heard of this game, but I might look it up now.
That's about 1,001 spikes.
Yeah, bro. And then there's like the game that makes you super angry, Super Meat Boy.
Super
And
angry.
that was
I
an
get
8% race.
it. And then VVVVV, the 100% race. That was
So many V's.
that game is so weird. I don't know about it. Like,
It's very weird.
like I've seen gameplay of it. I've seen someone do a playthrough of it, but that was long ago. But it was so fucking weird.
I don't know if the Game Grumps tried it. I have to look it up.
Yeah, and then another game called Star Tropics happened. And
Never
then,
heard of that. Might look it up.
And then there's the Kirby block with Kirby's Dream Land 2 and Kirby Planet Robobot. And that was... I've seen a little bit of those 2 runs, though they were fine. And
Yeah.
then we get to the Mega Man block.
Mega Man X6, which starting.
Yep. And then Mega Man X, they did a Buster only run for that one, so that was awesome to watch.
Yeah, those are tough.
And then there was a Mega Man X2 race with like 4 people.
Yeah.
That was also fun. It was really exciting too because it was like, it was like they were also they were really close to each other. It was a really close race, even until the end. They were super close.
Oh, by the way, for the races, we will not spoil who won or not in case you guys want to watch them. So the races for the Mega Man block was X2 and X3. So if you just go on YouTube, you know, SGDQ 2017, Mega Man X2 race, Mega Man X3 race, you'll find them.
Yep. And then after the Mega Man block, it was Twilight Princess to end off that day.
I love Twilight Princess. I'm glad they did the run of that.
I felt so sad about the end because you know why?
What happened at the end? I couldn't stay up for it.
There's a really funny thing that you can do at the end. And you can also do it because this is on Twilight Princess HD that they were doing, the Wii U version. But you can still do this. If you have the iron boots, you can actually equip them and then kill Ganon. And then you would still have the iron boots on at the very end.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
But not this run, but I saw it before.
Yeah. They didn't do it for this run. I was really hoping that they would because it's funny. Because whenever that happens, at the end when you see Link running across the fields, it's hilarious to see that he's actually running normally, even though those are super heavy boots.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you'd just be hearing like the metal clanking against the ground as he's running.
It's hilarious.
But that didn't happen. I was really sad, and I was like, "Oh God, okay, I'm done watching this run. I wanted to see that." No, but it was a good run nonetheless. He had pretty bad RNG with the first phase of the Ganon fight, though.
Yeah, that's always RNG is always a bitch in speedruns.
Hell yeah.
But that was the 4th day, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on to the 5th day, it was like we started with Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I did not watch that because it was like again it was very late in the morning.
Yeah, I went to sleep that night. Actually, I didn't bother like watching any of those runs.
Yeah, so we'll go through these that we didn't go through, that we ourselves didn't get to watch because again these were early in the morning. So
Yep.
The one after Oblivion was Divinity Original Sin, Might and Magic 6, The Mandate of Heaven, which I don't know what the hell that is, but sure.
So it's pretty religious if you ask me.
Oh God. YS Origin. Again, these are some games I've never heard of. Ghosts and Demons, I think I've heard of.
I feel like I heard that one too.
Yeah. Kero Blaster, Kiro Blaster. I don't
it's
know.
Kiro. I think it's Kiro Blaster.
Probably like to sound like Hero, so.
Yeah.
Bleed 2, never heard of it. Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Busts Loose.
That sounds really funny. I have to watch that run on the VOD.
And then the next game, the Addams Family Pugsley Scavenger Hunt.
It's funny how there's an Addams Family game.
That
was so weird.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, there was a game known as The Fireman, and then Pluck. And then we actually get to like games that we saw.
I couldn't watch these though. I couldn't because.
Oh, you couldn't?
This was the time where I was getting my Switch. So
yeah.
This day it was Ratchet and Clank and Jak 2, and I was like super excited to watch them. But I had ordered a Nintendo Switch because those things are fucking impossible to find nowadays. So like it was coming in on that day at that time, so I had to go and get it. So I missed the Ratchet and Clank and Jak 2 runs, which I recommend watching those runs. Jak and Daxter, the first game, is probably one of the best speedrun games to run.
Yep.
Because it's not as hard as you think, and it's pretty quick, like quote unquote speedrun. So yeah,
it's super quick.
But since you watch Ratchet and Clank and Jak 2, you want to talk about them?
So for Ratchet and Clank, the runner Zem, he was actually really awesome. He was super like chill and like hilarious, and sometimes like he would make fun of the like RNG and stuff. And he would also talk about like the game itself and like the plot and things like that. But like the one awesome thing that he did after the run was done was he did an incentive where he would actually sing a opera piece.
Oh, I missed that. Oh.
Yeah, and the dude, I wasn't expecting anything like extravagant, but the guy was so fucking good. Like he actually had to change the notes so that it was actually in his register on his vocals, but despite that, like it sounded awesome.
You need to get me a clip of that.
The dude sounded like he was singing in a Roman Coliseum. That's how fucking good he was. He was so awesome.
Was it part of the run itself so that people could watch on YouTube?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. If anything, for you guys who want to hear that, go if it's on YouTube. Just SGDQ 2017 Ratchet and Clank run.
Yeah, and that was for all the gold bolts. That was a lot.
Yeah, and then there's the Jak 2 any percent, which
Jak 2. A
lot of people think that Jak 2 is the worst Jak game. Well, besides like the fourth one, but we don't talk about that one.
I thought that was the best one.
Jak 2?
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with Jak 2 in my childhood, so I personally think Jak 3 is the best, but Jak 2 is pretty good still. But mostly because it's a very hard game.
Yeah.
But it was the only Jak game that came out for SGDQ this year, with obviously Ratchet and Clank being the only Ratchet and Clank game. But still cool runs.
At HGDQ, they actually did Jak 3. At SGDQ this year, they did Jak 2. With Jak 2, what they did a lot was they did a lot of restart like spawns, and they also did a lot of they actually went out of bounds a lot. They used the the little hoverboard that you have.
Yeah.
They used the crap out of it because
makes sense.
I mean, like, cause they made it so that it can go just as fast as like the one of the fast vehicles in the game.
The Zoomers.
Yeah, the Zoomers, and the reason why they went out of bounds a lot with it was because when you go out of bounds, you can actually kill yourself in that portion, and you'll be able to spawn at another point on the map that was close by. So it's basically like a death spawn. Like it helps you like spawn somewhere like closer to the objective so that you save more time. But that was pretty much a lot of the run, and there was also a lot of moments where like he went out of bounds in certain areas, just so that he doesn't have to do like a certain portion of it.
It gets crazy watching out of bounds stuff.
Yeah, it was a great run.
Yeah.
And then an awesome run afterwards was Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, I watched a bit of that. That one was great.
Oh my god. Just seeing that dude just like murder all of the colossi is just fucking awesome.
So fast.
It was so awesome and impressive. I never seen a Shadow of the Colossus run until that week. And man, that guy just killing all the claws, like all of them. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow.
Heck, for those who've played Shadow Colossus, try to like remember how long it took you to beat all of them. And it took this guy 46 minutes and 39 seconds, and that's not even the world record.
Yeah, that's not world record. So it was an insane run.
Very much.
It was.
So. But then we move on to Marathon Infinity. Never played it, never heard of it. Might check it out. Oh, Marathon Infinity. Oh, no. I think the Total Carnage is the category.
Yep.
So that's something. Did not hear about this game, though. I did watch a bit of the Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time run.
Yep.
It was any percent zipless. Not really sure what that means, but I mean, hell, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the Talos Principle.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Portal,
which was an inbound run.
Oh yeah, that was an inbounds run. And then
we had Bionic Commando Rearmed 100%.
And then we get to the pretty much the cool block, I'll call it, because there was a lot of awesome games ran in this.
Yeah, well, more like the block that we were super interested in for a while.
Oh yeah, it really was. After Bionic Commando was Chrono Trigger. Yeah,
Chrono Trigger's great.
I think I was super excited because I was on that high after watching the Pro Jared video about Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. To anyone who's never played Chrono Trigger, oh my god, find a way to play it and play it. It is so good.
It's definitely one of the most recommended RPGs out there. It really helped with defining the RPG genre. That's definitely on a list of RPGs that you have to play or that you should play.
Because the Chrono Trigger run, it was basically all figuring it was an any percent no wrong warp run, which might sound really weird to you, but if you watch the run itself, you'll understand because they explain it.
Yep.
And it's one of those runs where you have to try to manipulate it in a way to be in your favor.
Yeah, and it was just awesome just to watch the dude go through the entire game super quick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was watching it for nostalgia's sake.
Oh yeah, no, it's always fun to watch. They actually in another GDQ, I don't remember if it was a GDQ or a SGDQ, they did a Chrono Trigger run for the end of it.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be beating the end of the game with a wonder shot. And they did it and that was the moment everyone was hype, and I think that was the point where they reached $1 million that year, and it was just freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was just really awesome.
Yeah, but after the Chrono Trigger run, which by the way, the Chrono Trigger run itself was 3 hours, 3 minutes and 35 seconds. So
yeah, that's really fucking short for a Chrono Trigger run.
Yeah, but that's any percent. We haven't seen the 100% run.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot longer, I bet.
Yeah. Then we had the Mario Kart block, which was Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart Wii.
Mario Kart 64 was a lot of bouncing and a lot of shell manipulation, I'll say.
Not only that, but the whole going backwards on the stage to complete the races faster.
Oh yeah.
Which is very funny. It was 150cc all cups. 150cc is basically the hard difficulty.
Yeah. That's the difficulty where your cards go as fast as they can.
Yep.
And the AI is also a pain in the ass.
Gets crazy.
Yeah. But that run took 28 minutes.
Which is and again, this is all cups, so it's all the races in the game in 28 minutes, and it's you think to yourself, that's probably maybe one cup for a person.
Oh yeah.
But they did all of them.
Oh yeah, and during those 28 minutes, he was playing the entire time as Toad.
Oh god.
There was a lot of sort of
the
moments.
noises that Toad would make is just, God, the chat would go crazy.
The chat would go insane.
I would say that's the one thing about the GDQs that's really hard to deal with is the chat, because there's so many people watching. There's over 100,000 people watching. Sometimes over 200,000 people watching, so you really can't use the chat like you would think.
Yeah, and plus the chat can get very cancerous.
It can, yeah. But besides that, the next game was, again, Mario Kart Wii, which I think he played as Donkey Kong Jr. for?
I think so.
I believe he played Donkey Kong Jr. This is Nitro tracks, no skips, so You couldn't do what he did in the Mario Kart 64. This was literally no skips. So
yeah.
But that was 38 minutes 51 seconds. Very fun.
like, and like even then, like he was like the entire time that was just like he was playing the game like just as intended, almost, and like wow, only 10 minutes longer. That's funny.
It's pretty crazy.
And then
the
highlight.
Really fun block.
This is the highlight of the whole event. Well, sort of like one of the biggest highlights of the event.
And it's a short highlight too. It's only like in all like 27 minutes.
Yeah.
The Tetris block, which actually the Tetris block almost didn't happen. I know you read more into it. I couldn't read into it too much, but they almost had to cancel it because of technical difficulties.
Yeah, but the one that we're talking about is this ended off Thursday's runs. Tetris, the Grandmaster, and this was a 8-way 100% race. And the thing about these games is that Tetris, the Grandmaster, is a arcade game. And the way that people run it, and this also has to be intended for America too. Like even if you are like a guy in America, like how people run it in other countries such as Japan, they have to do it off an arcade machine because that's the only legal way of doing it. Like,
yep.
I'm not saying like law wise. I'm saying like speedrun wise.
Yeah.
And so like they had to make like this completely convoluted setup, and there was only an issue that only required about like $20 worth of equipment. But at the same time, they had to test it out with a capture card. Like they had to buy one, but they didn't because no one's gonna go and spend $1,000 for a capture card just to test something out. So there was a lot of issues with it in terms of like the video not showing. The PC actually crashed, the stream PC, and it was just a hell of a lot of problems all the way around. The guy that made the article talking about the behind the scenes of it all, Kevin DDR, he literally like they were so close to ending it. Like we said it, like they were close. They were about 10 minutes away from it not happening. And I believe it was him that tried something, and I think it was like a resolution change, and that fixed it.
Which is great because we got the 8-way 100% run, and that was awesome.
It was an insane it was an insane run to watch.
Yeah, watching those runs, it's just great. But,
yeah.
After the 8-way race, we don't want to spoil who won it.
Yep.
We're just gonna say their races. We had another race. It was 2 players, 1 controller race, which was basically like 2-on-2, but with 2 controllers.
Yep.
And that was fun to watch. And then there's the final one, which was the Tetris, the Grandmaster 3 Terror Instinct, which was run by Kevin DDR himself.
Yeah. This one was really crazy to watch. Like everyone was so quiet when he was doing it too.
Like, you gotta focus on that shit.
He needed like the utmost amount of concentration, and it was just like, it's so insane to watch because like with those arcade games, they are the hardest Tetris games that you will ever find.
Yeah.
And holy fuck, the blocks would go down at a pace that is just inhumane. Like
you have to watch the run itself to understand what we're saying here because it's crazy.
Yeah, if you were the one running the game, you would want to say that you're in Tetris hell. Because holy shit, like just watching it, I wouldn't even want to do it. Like I don't think anyone would want to do it because it's super quick and like super unfair.
It gets fucking insane.
And then we get to the very late hours. I think we actually stayed up for some of these.
I stayed up a little bit for the Link to the Past run, but I couldn't stay up all the way because it was like super late in the morning for this.
Pretty much the Zelda block happened. They did A Link to the Past, Zelda 2, which is the most underrated Zelda game, I'll say.
The Adventure of Link.
And Link's Awakening DX. I actually stayed up until Link's Awakening. I didn't watch that one. I actually went off the bed. But those 2 runs were
hilarious.
It was hilarious because Link to the Past, the
The runner.
The category was all dungeons swordless, and the runner himself was just absolutely funny to like hear out.
Especially because there was a lot of mistakes he made, but the thing is, he just rolled with it.
He just rolled with it and made a lot of jokes about it, and like it was a swordless run. Like he didn't even get the sword itself, so.
The main thing that Link uses to fight.
Yeah, so it was really hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
And then Zelda 2, they did an 80% no scroll lock. That was really like crazy to watch because pretty much scroll locking is just a way to manipulate enemy spawns, and without it, it's like it makes the game a hell of a lot more harder. But
it really does.
But like he stuck through it like a champ and like just destroyed the game.
It's crazy to watch.
Yeah. And then after that,
Link's Awakening, you said?
I didn't watch that one.
You said you didn't. Yeah, so that one is one of those where we might have to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You should too.
And then
this is the ones where you did not stay awake, so we'll just go through these because these are the ones we didn't watch.
Yep.
Crypt of the Necrodancer, Amplified. Never watched it, but it was a race, so we won't see who won, even though it actually doesn't say here who won, so we'll have to see ourselves.
Yeah.
Shantae, Half Genie Hero, any percent Out of Bounds. All Was Awakening, never heard of that, so might have to look into that. Splasher, Super Win the Game. Super Win the Game. I didn't see this before.
I don't know about that. I don't know what the fuck that is.
That sounds pretty funny. Shadow Complex Remastered. So that I heard of that game, never played it, but it looks pretty cool. And I can't say this name for shit.
It's we can skip
Rosencruz Stilette, some shit like that. I can't say it.
Rosencruz Stilette, fruited statue.
There you go. Such a weird name.
It sounds pretty German to me.
Sounds it, yeah.
Yeah, it does look like it.
And then there's Hammer and Harry.
that sounds so weird.
Yeah. And there's another game that I thought would be in the Mega Man block, but it was just separate. It was Mega Man 4.
Yeah.
It was not in the Mega Man block. It was just on its own.
I think because it wasn't an X game.
Well, that and, again, probably, like we said before, the runner might have had a different time.
Yeah. Afterwards, there was Avenging Spirit. And then, interestingly enough, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. And the reason why I say interesting is because during that run, the runner actually got the world record for the 100% category for the game.
Yeah, and he said it so nonchalant, too. He's like, oh, by the way, that's a world record. It's like, huh. Well, then.
It was really fucking funny to hear that.
I think that might have been the only world record. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. For that GDQ.
Yeah, I think that was the only one.
Yeah.
And then
then we get this weird setup. Go ahead.
We get X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, and then Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast.
Odd games, but you know what? They're games, so you can run them.
They're games. And then we get to the Kingdom Hearts block.
Kingdom Hearts, I watched all of it. It was great.
I actually went to sleep during that.
Yeah, I know you can watch it, but it was a Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Critical Mode any percent. So that run changed so much from the last time I saw it because a lot of the times they would use the summon of Stitch.
Yep.
And they only used him once, so they started optimizing it with Chicken Little as a summon.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I stayed up for like part of this. I stayed up I think it was like halfway through I left.
Yeah, but, the older runs would be like always Stitch, not always Stitch, but sometimes most of the time Stitch to summon to help you.
Yep.
But now it's like Chicken Little because it's a lot faster.
The reason why is because for this one they actually played the PS4 version of Final Mix. So,
which also I don't think it includes loads.
With the PS4 version of Final Mix, it actually gets rid of loads completely, so it actually helps out with the drive abilities, and there's a lot of exploits that you can use with it too. And actually, I think this actually introduces more exploits and glitches than the original PS2 one.
I think it does due to the fact that they got rid of loads because, for an example, you would have to pause buffer for drive forms in the older versions because back then for drive forms when you use them it would basically pause your game to load in the drive form. But in this you just do it, boom, you're instant drive form.
Yep.
So a lot more exploits can be done because, you don't have to pause buffer things.
And during this too, they actually did a
Run.
They did an incentive where they did like a top 10 like Disney songs. So the viewers donated like for certain songs to be in the top 10, and
oh my god, those were great.
The first 5 that were there, they actually sang out those songs during the gummy ship portions of the game, and it was awesome. They actually did very well with them.
It was pretty funny, especially one of them. I forgot who it was, but someone who basically sang it like an opera at one point. I was like, what the fuck?
That guy was actually the Ratchet and Clank runner.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So again, that's another thing you guys should check out.
I think that was I think that was the second one, and that was when they were singing Gaston.
It might have been.
Yeah,
I think it was Gaston.
Yeah, they were singing Gaston, and like whenever they do the one portion where like Gaston holds that very long note, the dude fucking pulled it off like
oh my God,
so amazingly. It was just mesmerizing to hear. And yeah, that was the run. That was like a really interesting thing about that run, along with like the extra exploits and stuff.
And it ended exactly 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Amazing.
But they didn't just stop with the game, like the end of the game. They also did the incentives with the, it was level 1, and this is straight up level 1, critical mode, I believe, data org fights, which if you know Kingdom Hearts 2, those are like fighting all the organization members in the data org. So that was cool. They also did, I believe, a level 1 Sephiroth fight, and I think they did Lingering Will, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But after that run, oh my god, the craziest race ever was the Super Mario Series Warpless Relay Race with 15 people.
Yep.
But they were all in teams.
Yeah, it was 3 teams of 5 doing a Mario Series Warpless Relay Race. So they did the entire game as intended. Oh, not entire game. They did the entire games as intended.
Yeah, because it's a series. It's not just one single game.
Yeah, they did.
And these are warpless.
I think they did all the NES and SNES Mario games.
Yeah, and there were times where, like, in the races, again, we're not going to spoil who wins, but in the races, you would see one team ahead of another for, like, a split second, and boom, the sudden change of, like, this team is now ahead.
Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah.
And it was really awesome to watch because it was like...
To be honest, this is a run that I would suggest highly for you guys to watch because it's 2 hours, 47 minutes, 12 seconds. It is a long run, but it is so worth it.
Yeah, just watching like all the runners just like run through all the Mario games, like the classic Mario games. Those are very difficult to run through.
Oh yeah.
And like
I think they also ran some Japanese levels. I could be wrong though.
They ran the Lost levels, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Japanese versions of Mario games, older Mario games, they're hard as fuck.
Yeah, they are. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
And then after that, we get to the Metroid block.
Metroid Fusion actually had an incentive for 0% or 100%, and I believe 0% won it.
0% won by a landslide.
This game actually is very dear to me due to the fact that Metroid Fusion is the first video game that I ever completed to completion by myself. Like back when I was a kid, I would have my sister help me beat some games, but like this was like the first game that I straight up beat without any support, any like looking up guides or anything. I just beat it.
Yep.
It was just to see this game at a GDQ was like awesome to see.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it was since it's a 0% run, you don't pick up certain things like certain items that would help you. The runner, JRP 2234, he almost picked up an item, but the guys on the couch were like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "This is 0%."
Yeah.
But can it be a 1%?
Yeah, like the runner is actually like the opposite of doing 0% runs. Like he can do a 0% run, but he mainly does 100% runs.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like he sometimes like
he's so sad about it.
He sometimes screwed up and like almost went to go grab an item, almost straight from the 0% route. And the fucking people on the couch always called it out. Like, what are you doing? This is a 0% run.
Yeah, it was so sad. Like every time he would be like, "Oh man."
It was just funny to watch.
But the next one.
Oh god, the next one was the most. I'd say this is the most surprising thing in GDQ history to happen.
Super Metroid.
Super Metroid, and I'm not. No, the Super Metroid isn't the hysterical thing about it. No. Super Metroid is.
Wait, before you say that.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about what Super Metroid means to GDQs?
Yeah. So for Super Metroid, it's sort of like a It's more like a I'm not gonna say a running gag, more like a commonplace thing now. Like it's like it's gotta be there. Like it always is.
It's an annual thing.
Yeah, it's an annual thing. It's always going to be there. But what they do with Super Metroid is there is an incentive, and this is one of the most highest donating incentives in the GDQs, where you can either kill the animals at the end, or you can save the animals, or save the frames or kill the frames.
Yep.
And usually that's one of the highest donation wars for the incentives at GDQs. And this year they actually Kill the Animals actually won for once.
Yeah, because Save the Animals had won 2 times before it, but this year it was Kill the Animals.
Yeah, I was actually excited about that because I was hoping.
I was very sad. I wanted a 3-peat for the freaking Save the Animals.
Yeah, but now we get to the most interesting part of this run. So it was a race, and this is the category for this year's Super Metroid run was low % ice race. The 3 winners were Oats and Goats, Zos, and Overfiend VIP.
Now before we say what happened, we will not say who was involved with this, because we want to you guys to see it for yourself.
Yeah, but the funniest thing about this was that the race 12 minutes in suddenly became just a run.
Yep. 2 runners, and again we won't say who, 2 runners in the Super Metroid race died 12 minutes into one of the bosses, and both of them died near the same exact time almost.
Yeah.
So at that point, it wasn't like, all right, let's go back to 0 minutes. It was like their runs were over, and it became a single player run.
Yeah, and it was a single player run for the whole entire run afterwards.
Yep. So 12. Okay, remember this: 12 minutes in, two runners. Again, we won't say who.
Yep.
2 runners lost. And out of that, it was 52 minutes and 49 seconds.
Yeah, it was just... Oh.
So 40 extra minutes of one person running the game.
The thing about Super Metroid is that the game is so fucking brutal. Yep. And the brutality of the game shown so badly right then and there. Because because all 3 of those runners are the absolute best Super Metroid runners. Especially for that category. It was
hilarious to watch.
So everyone we freaked out so bad. We were like, what the fuck? It's a 1-player run now. This is not even a race anymore.
That was probably the funniest run, I would say, in my opinion. Not funniest, but the most shocking.
It's because it's never happened before.
Not once.
I've seen the GDQ since 2015. No, I think earlier than that, actually.
2014, I would say.
Yeah, I would say 2014.
Because I remember 2014 with that.
Yeah, and usually something like that never happens. Or if a runner did die, it would be way later in the game.
Yeah.
But, oh god.
But never this early.
Yeah, but it was we were just freaking out. Because it was what? They all died? Just one guy remains? Are they going to reset?
And you want to know the funny thing? That was just the end of the 6th day.
Yeah, that was the end of the 6th day, and now we get to Saturday. And
the final day of SGDQ 2017.
And we get to the absolute run that fucked up my sleeping schedule so badly. Final Fantasy VII at 7 hours and 48 minutes and 4 seconds. This was...
And that's an any % run.
Yeah, and that was... Oh, fuck. I said that I was going to stay up to watch the entire run, and I did just that. And I don't really...
Fuck your sleep schedule.
I don't regret it because the run was so awesome, and the runners themselves were actually very, entertaining and at the same time very informative about the game, because not only did they make jokes and talk about the strats, they also gave the lore of the game in such a great way that, any person that gets confused by a Final Fantasy plot would understand.
Yeah, because Final Fantasy is very convoluted at times, but they apparently explained it well.
Yeah, and it was just wow. Like the run was awesome, and I did not sleep at all that day.
Ugh.
It was pretty bad.
But after that almost 8 hour freaking run, we had the Mater D, which I can stay up to watch because it was early in the morning.
Yep.
Rise of the Triad, and then this game, which is really hilarious, Super Hot.
Oh yeah.
If you guys don't know what Super Hot is, imagine you're in front of you. There's like a weapon. You pick up the weapon as you're moving. The enemies move, but if you stay still, nothing moves.
Yeah, time moves when you move.
Yeah, it's it's one of the more unique games that have come out in recent times.
Yeah.
They did a run of that, and then after that was Titanfall 2, 80%.
I think it was those two games where some of the other guys were with us, watching it.
These are the games that they're more interested in, which is again totally fine. They don't have to watch GDQ, they don't have to, but these are the ones that they got into, and for us, Titanfall 2 is like meh, it's okay, but for them they love it so much, and they actually did notice some things in it that could kind of help them run the game faster too. So, I said, if you watch GDQs, you might actually learn some stuff too that might improve your gameplay or might make it so that you can do things faster.
Oh my god! Just you say that we think the game is meh.
I mean, it's an opinion. No. I mean, if other people like it, good on them.
No. I think it's more of the fact of what we did before we started recording.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But besides that though, there's actually a funny incentive for the Titanfall 2 run. It was spare the Marvin or kill it, and it's just this little robot guy that's in the game.
Totally harmless and super adorable.
Yeah. Dan actually did a stream of Titanfall 2 recently, the campaign. He murdered it, so I'm just like, you bastard. But for the incentive for the GDQ, it was spare. So I was happy with that.
Sparing one by a lot. Once again. Yeah, the whole spare and goodwill things are they usually get the most donations.
You say that as Kill the Animals won.
Kill the Animals won this year because it actually needed to win this year.
Yeah. And then after Titanfall 2, we had Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. I didn't watch this one because I think I was doing something at the time.
Yeah.
And then this one you couldn't watch because I think you were busy. But the Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1 games, which the Dark Souls 3 game was all bosses in the main game plus DLC 1 bosses.
I did see a bit of it, 20-something minutes of it.
Yeah. The thing I liked about it, it wasn't just the run itself, but the dude who ran it, who was named Thor W. Very cool dude. He basically any donation that came in that was over $300, he'd immediately get the whole crowd clapping. He'd say oh, let's clap for that, and then he would also thank all the tech people behind the scenes every few minutes, and he's a very cool dude. Explained a good amount of stuff. I respect the shit out of him.
Yeah,
and obviously Dark Souls 3 is a very fun game that I enjoy, but not many other people might enjoy it since it's so hard.
Not as hard as Dark Souls.
Dark Souls 1 is probably the hardest in my opinion, but opinions differ. But actually, speaking of Dark Souls 1, Bubbles del Fuego, which is my I love that name so much.
Oh yeah, dude, it's such a
favorite
fucking
name
awesome
that they've ever come out with. He did a Dark Souls 1 run, any percent kiln skip, which is once you get the kiln to the kiln, you could skip to it and beat the game. So it's a really fast run.
Oh yeah, it's
very cool.
It's super fast run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bubbles del Fuego actually ran Dark Souls 3 at AGDQ early this year. I mean, and
Bubbles del Fuego.
And that was a lot of fun to watch too.
Yeah, and then we had Super Panga World, Panga, I don't know how to say it, but I think it's basically a Mario game, but really hard.
Oh yeah, it's
I think it's a mod.
I think it's an unfair Mario game, basically.
Yeah, and you would think man, unfair Mario games, that's probably gonna be slow because you gotta learn shit. Nope, that shit was done in 33 minutes and 23 seconds.
Oh hell yeah, it was that was a run, and then we get to Super Mario 64. 120 stars. That's a classic speedrunning game. And
by one of the better speedrunners of the Super Mario 64 category.
Yeah, this guy started running this game a lot and he's been getting world records like so easily for it.
By the way, his name is Cheese05.
Yeah, highly recommend following that guy. That guy's pretty cool. His runs are just astonishing to watch.
You guys need to check it out on YouTube when you get a chance. He has so many runs on YouTube.
Oh yeah. And then afterwards, we get to the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, all mask run, and
which was very cool to see.
Yeah, another classic run, I would say.
They did. There was an incentive. It could not be reached this year, sadly, because this year for SGDQ they were trying out bits. And on bits on Twitch is like the Twitch currency to donate.
Yep.
So the thing about that was they wanted to get to, I believe it was 5 million bits.
Which is,
they actually got up to I think over 2 million, but they couldn't reach 5 million by that time because this was a new sort of system they wanted to try out for GDQs.
Yeah. In case you're wondering, how much that is in actual money currency, 5 million bits is $500,000 US dollars. I'm not sure. In case if any of you guys live in some other country, you have to do the calculations yourself. But 500,000 US dollars. That's 5 million bits right there. Every bit is a cent.
Yep. And they couldn't reach it, but other than that, they got a lot of bits.
They got a lot of bits. They got a lot of. I feel like it's gonna do much better next year, though.
I think so because this was like the newest version of like donations. Like obviously with GDQs they've always done donations, but this year they did bits and donations. So adding them all together, I believe they made over 2 million.
Oh yeah.
Because you also have to factor in the subscribers that subscribe to their Twitch channel at the time because they factor all that in too.
Yeah.
But Majora's Mask was very cool to watch.
And then afterwards, they actually did Breath of the Wild. They actually did
I fucking love that game.
They actually did a run this year for Breath of the Wild, which is awesome because it came
was
out
an
in March.
It was an incentive.
It was an incentive. The game came out in March. I'm surprised that it even made it this year. But
I guess it only did it because someone had the ability to do it and they wanted to make it an incentive. So
yeah,
I think the incentive was like $100,000 or $200,000, something like that.
I think it was, yeah.
It was one of them. Like they announced the incentive literally the night before, and they got it way before the run was even going. So obviously people want to see Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and the run was awesome to watch.
It was 45 minutes 59 seconds. So remember when the creators were like, "Man, you could go straight to Ganon if you want." Yep.
Yeah, people did that. People did exactly that.
I can go on for hours about Zelda Breath of the Wild. I just bought it. I just beat it recently. Fun game. If you can get a Switch, I highly recommend it. But I don't want to bore you with all that. The run itself was amazing.
And then after Breath of the Wild was Portal 2, and this is the second last game of the
this was actually
SGDQ.
interesting.
This guy did solo, like he played by himself, but he was doing the co-op mode of the game.
So yeah, you would think co-op, doesn't that mean 2 people? No, he played the 2 robots that you play in Portal 2 by himself.
Yeah, and that was it was so weird to watch him do that because I'm not used to seeing that for the Portal 2 runs.
Yeah, like sometimes you'll even see like 2-player 1 controller, but this is literally the opposite. This is 1-player 2 controller.
Oh yeah, and it's like, he was just like doing it so well. Yep. Like it seemed like it was just like a day job or something.
Pretty much. But that was a fun run. That was the second to last game, and the final game to end off the SGDQ for this year was, for me at the time, it was 1 in the morning. For Rose, I believe it was like 12.
Yeah, and this one was Earthbound.
Earthbound, the original, the first Earthbound, which I believe was like Mother 2.
Yeah, or as other people know it as Mother 2. This game was absolute nostalgia. And
it gets kind of, you never notice, but Earthbound is kind of dark at times.
Like the game is super dark at the same time. It's got like that Danganronpa sort of thing, but like Danganronpa stays dark. But with Earthbound, it gets silly and then it gets dark. Especially with Mother 2 at the very end at the boss fight. Holy shit, that boss fight is so dark. I never seen a boss fight like that.
We do have to mention the Earthbound incentive for this year. But besides the names, by the way, we forgot to mention this. A lot of the games in GDQs will have file names, and then a lot of people will donate to have a certain name. I think one of them was Reggie Give Us Mother 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it sadly didn't win, I think.
I think it was Iwata that won that one.
Yeah, which, you know,
Iwata wins again.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But the besides the names, there was an incentive to take pictures in the game, because you could take pictures, and obviously for a speed run you wouldn't want to like waste your time taking pictures, but as it was an incentive, so they did it.
Fuzzy Pickles.
I forgot what they said.
Fuzzy Pickles.
Fuzzy Pickles, and like everyone in the crowd, the runner himself, the guys on the couch, all of them would say that, and it was just like a nice time.
Yeah, and everyone would pose towards the camera.
Yeah. Personally, I had to take a nap during this run because it was like it started at 1 and it was a 4.5 hour run, so I had to take a nap for like an hour and a half and come back for like near the end.
Yeah, like we were just I watched all of it. You watched most of it though.
Yeah.
And like it was just an awesome run all around, and just like for me, like to be honest, like seeing Earthbound as being like the final game of the GDQ to be ran.
Yeah.
It was just awesome because it's definitely
what was AGQ? It was
Undertale,
right?
Yeah. Definitely like this is another RPG that is highly regarded, like as one of the best RPGs out there, and definitely if you can ever play it, give it a shot. It's really I really recommend it, unless you're not a fan of like dark stories. This game likes to make fun of itself too, though. That's what I like about it. It's just silly all around, and like it's got like just so many things, and it catches you off guard easily.
And it's fucking dark.
And then it gets super like confusing and convoluted.
So yeah, but that was the final game. But obviously, like it doesn't just end there. There was the quote unquote finale where they had a compilation video of like a lot of runners who talked throughout what the GDQ means to them and what it's for. I don't remember the exact number, but I still believe they made over $2 million through donations, bits, and subscribers.
Yeah, it's just like I think after watching that video, like we literally despite the event being over and despite the stream being like done, we were like still up and just like talking about like the
yeah, we stayed up for a bit longer until I was like, you know what, fuck this, I need sleep.
Yeah, like it was just a lot of fun. Like we were talking about like how awesome it was, and just like the GDQ in general. It just like everything about it was just like so good. Like
yeah, hell, if you guys like don't have time to watch any runs right now at all, I mean, heck, even look up just the GDQ finale video itself. It is so like, I don't want to say inspiring. Well, it could be inspiring for you because you actually wanted to do speedruns again.
Yeah, it really was. Like,
yeah.
Like, just watching it was just like, it's like, it was definitely like one of those like videos once again where it's like, God damn, it's so inspiring.
Yeah, because at the end, they also showed off what AGQ will be starting. I don't remember the exact date. I think, do you remember?
AGDQ, I think they gave a link already for AGDQ.
There's like a whole thing on AGDQ for next year, but if you check out the finale video, you'll see the announcement there. Mm-hmm. I believe it was Half Coordinated who ended off the video.
Yeah, and it was
to remind you guys, it was the runner who did Nier Automata with one hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really awesome. He really gave some awesome words too.
Yeah, it's one of those like, this is like emotional moment. Like nobody's had sleep. Everyone's just like almost crying. It's like, oh man, and then you just think about yourself like, oh, it's over. Yeah, like this 7-day event is over.
It's one of those moments where it's like, God damn it, I wish it wasn't over. I wish it was still going.
And then I think one of us was like, next GDQ go for a month. It's like people would die.
You're making the joke, actually. You made that joke.
I think I did, yeah. I was like, do it for a whole month. It's like, oh my God, so many people would die.
Yeah, like for us, like what we do, like the one thing that we have done actually is we did Extra Life last year in November, and that was 24 hours long. And that was like
that fucked us up.
That was our first time doing it, so like we were so unprepared and we didn't really think like so thoroughly on it, so we literally fucked our sleep schedules up so badly.
We really did.
Yeah.
Thank you for those who actually showed up for that. That was really fun. And For those listening in now, we're thinking of doing another one this year. We don't know when. We'll discuss that when we have the details. We're thinking about it right now. It's not set in stone, but we'll do another one.
We're actually thinking about doing like 2, but we have.
That's a possibility. We might only do the one. It depends on things, so we will let you all know when we can.
The one that we're talking about right now that we can't really disclose anything about because it's not set in stone. That one was actually just like, it's sort of like a thing I thought about because it's the summer.
Yeah.
But
again,
we
don't want to get your hopes up for that.
Yeah.
It's just possibility. We definitely want to try to do the one on game day. We want to try.
Yeah.
And we will. So we'll do our best.
Yeah, we'll do our best to do that one again. I feel like we will do it. Though I won't promise anything.
You never know, you know?
I won't promise anything.
We'll try our hardest. That's all we can say.
By the way, with SGDQ, I actually have the donation total here. $1,792,842.96.
That was just in donations.
That was just in donations. The maximum donation was $20,300.
Was that by the Yeti?
That was by the Yeti. Also, actually, that's another organization that we'll call out. Definitely, if you were to see any events like SGDQ or AGDQ or things like Zeldathon, there is a shirt company known as the Yeti, and they make some pretty awesome shirts. And they also
buy shirts.
They also like to donate a lot whenever they do the events. And
they donated so much.
They donated a fuck ton of money. Like I think they donated almost $100,000 worth of donations this year.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so they're awesome guys.
By the way, all of that we should have mentioned this from the beginning, but the charity that they were going for was Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
If you want, go to their website. You will find all the information on that. And again, every single thing, all the proceeds that they got this year, or every year, I should say, any GDQ, all goes to charity.
Yep.
There's nothing for anybody. Nobody gets paid. Yeah. I don't believe nobody gets paid for this.
No one gets paid anything.
I don't believe any of the runners get paid. They just, they come in. This is a giant community charity event. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think actually, like when you mentioned subscribers, I think they actually use the subscriber money and like sponsorships to help like fund for like the next event.
Well, yeah, because to be honest, there are things that you need to fund.
Yeah,
like
that shit
if you want to get
cheap.
the event going, you need to fund it.
Yeah, that shit ain't cheap. It really isn't. Like, I remember when they remember 2014 when they were doing like the GDQs. It was not really in that big of a place. And now they've expanded so much that it's like in like this gigantic ballroom.
It's awesome.
And it's just insane. It's so awesome to see how much they've grown. And they give back like immensely.
A lot.
Yeah, immensely they give back. It's just insane.
Yeah.
And like
we kind of went way over than what we thought we were going to do for this one.
We actually thought we were only going to get like 30 minutes to an hour. We went over.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah, it's definitely fine. By the way, actually, why don't we just give our opinions about the GDQ, about SGDQ this year?
In my opinion, for this one?
Yeah.
I think I was way more heavily involved in this one than I have in most recent years because, I think, back when I used to watch it, alone, the friends I used to hang out with didn't really watch it that much. But, you and I watch it so much that I was able to get more invested in it. So I very much enjoyed this year so much more.
Yeah, I could say the same. Usually
it was very, very fucking awesome.
Usually whenever I watch the GDQs, I watch it alone. And, mainly, I had to, be cautious because, I don't live alone. I have, sisters and brothers. But, I was actually kind of fortunate that, most of the week of SGDQ, my sister wasn't around. So I could just stay up and just watch. And, this was the most dedicated one I actually, done for SGDQ.
Seeing as you watched the entirety of the Final Fantasy VII run, I would say so.
Yeah. I stayed up a lot for all the entire week. I think with Final Fantasy VII, that was actually the day where I actually stayed up the entire day.
Good lord, dude.
And the other days, I've actually, stayed up until like 5, 6 in the morning, and then went to bed.
Yeah.
I made sure to catch every run that I wanted to see. So yeah, I can see why my schedule's so fucked up even until now.
Yeah, so that's basically what we think. Like, to be honest, I still suggest going on YouTube for those listening in. Watch the runs that we talked about. Watch the ones that you feel like are something that you want to watch.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of like draws like a hell of a lot of inspiration, to be honest, because it's like, I mean, it's not just like the GDQs that happen. I mean, like there's Extra Life, which we do. Well, we did actually, but we're not sure if we're gonna do another one. We're trying to. And then there's Zeldathon, which is just all Zelda games and stuff. And then sometimes there's gaming tournaments that donate all the money towards charity.
Yep.
And there's just a lot of things that you could do, and even then, it's like people still create new like charity like events and stuff like that on Twitch. So
it's like, guess what? Gaming can be really helpful when you look at it that way, because it really can.
Yeah, it's. I always think that way too, because like whatever.
$2 million.
Because when I first started watching like the GDQs, I was like, holy shit, they're raising so much money. Like this is what gaming can do. It can really help out people. And like
Brings people together.
I actually like showed like the GDQs to my parents, and like, I mean, like they're not really heavy gamers and stuff, but
once you show them the money, though, it's like,
yeah.
Oh.
once you show them what's going on, it's like, yeah, it's.
Oh, like I get that.
Like that's awesome. I mean, like to be honest, if I were like so much more dedicated to speedrunning, I would actually love to participate in a GDQ one day. Cause like
I'm not a speedrunner, but like maybe one day I might try to do any single game, like because it's not hard actually to get into a game.
Oh yeah.
You have all the videos for you. You have all the people that, again, like Rose talked about earlier, like they have links to Discord servers. They have guides. They have their own streams, so you can learn from them.
Yeah.
It's not as hard.
It's not really that hard. And even then, like, if speedrunning isn't your thing, you can still like organize a charity event of your own.
Yeah.
Like,
and again, it's not just that. You can yourself go to GDQs. You can be supporting there. Like, just being there is very supportive too.
Yeah.
And even if you can't be there, watch the Twitch streams, watch the YouTube videos. Like, anything you can do, spread the word, all that stuff. It's very helpful.
Yeah, just watching and spreading the word helps a lot too, because for anyone that like you share it around with, like they might share it around to more people, or they may actually donate towards the stream if they enjoy it enough.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's like it's sort of like a gigantic thing that is just ever growing, and it's an awesome.
And every
thing.
year, it's like the like average amount of money they get is crazy. It's like
insane. It really is. It's insane.
Yeah, because it used to be not a struggle, but it used to be kind of tough to get to $1 million. Now they get to that in like half the time almost.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It is really crazy, and like. Even like if it's not like the GDQs, it's like obviously Extra Life. Extra Life deals with children's hospitals though, which is still amazing.
Great charities.
Yeah, and then there's just a lot of things that you can do. Like there's some things that people haven't done yet that can be done. Just that all you need to do is just like you need to put in the work and the dedication to like make it into something big.
Yep. And obviously there's, like we said, supporters, people who, if you can't be there at all, just spread the word. That's another great way you can do things.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing to do, just spreading the word.
Actually, I wanted to spread the word on something, but I don't think it counts really for this kind of topic.
What?
This is a random thing, but this is more of like I kind of want to signal boost it. It's that game that the guy who made Grim Eclipse is working on.
Oh yeah.
I know it doesn't really sound like the thing to talk about now, but I kind of want to help it out a bit. It's do you want to say it?
Yeah, actually, yeah, we could do that. Like, I think, yeah, because like we're pretty much done. Like
we're SGQ. In my opinion, best event of the year. Like GDQ in general, best events of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, we said our
very
piece on it.
inspirational things.
Yeah. So I guess to end it off, we'll actually like signal boost something because it's a bit surprising that RT hasn't even signal
No,
boosted
they
it.
have. They have signal boosted it.
In what
You
way?
gotta give them credit.
I forgot what way.
They mentioned it, and I think at one point I know they mentioned it.
I think
You actually told me they mentioned
Oh,
it.
okay. I know what you mean. What do you mean? Like RT Games like posted it in an article, like in their article.
Yeah, they
But-
did.
but, like,
So let's give
but-
them that credit.
Well, I mean, like to be honest though, not like.
Yeah, let's leave our opinion on that later. For now, let's
Alright.
signal boost instead.
All right, so pretty much there is a game that Jordan Scott, the creator of Grimaclips, the guy that actually got Grimaclips to be made, because he was actually the guy that made the fan game before Monty like pretty much pointed it out and like picked him up. He's making a game of his own called Arbiter, and it's a pretty crazy concept, but at the same time it seems to be looking awesome. And
Yeah, think Ikagura, but like as an action game.
that's actually like just that seems to be like perfect for it.
I think we can put a link in the description, can't we?
Yeah. We'll put a link in the
We'll put a link in the description for it.
We'll put a link in the description for it. You can check it out. If you can, spread the word about it, because
Yeah.
the guy needs the support, and the guy, like, he really does a lot. He really has a hell of a lot of dedication to like making games. So
Yeah.
definitely we'll do that.
We're hoping that it's still up. His page is still up.
Yeah.
If it's not, I mean, we tried. But
tried.
if it is up, the link will be in the description. If not, we'll like say like the page is down or something. But other than that, like if you can't donate to his thing, just spread the word in any way. Twitter, Reddit,
Yep.
anything like social media related.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a big help.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we're really done here.
That's.
SGDQ was awesome. That's really all I can say. It was one of the best events.
SGDQ was so awesome that we talked about it for an hour and a half, even though we were only going to talk about it for half an hour.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I cannot wait for AGDQ next year.
Same.
It's going to be so sad to wait.
Yep. Well, other than that, I think we're done. So, bye, guys.
This has been the TheDarkenedRose, and that was ShadowNightblade, and we'll see you guys later.
Blep.
By the way, actually, before we fully sign off, what we're actually planning to do is that we're actually planning to like put more stuff onto the YouTube channel, so that it's more than just podcasts. We were already planning to put more stuff on here. It's just that everyone's been busy for a while, and we didn't really have much time to like fully come up with a plan as to like how to spread around our content and what content we should create for the YouTube channel and our other stuff. So definitely look out here for some updates on anything that we're doing, maybe like such as our fanfic room 205. Link will be in the description. And whenever we're doing our planning for Extra Life, which we're still not set in stone yet for this year, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, this has been TheDarkenedRose once again, and I'll see you guys later. Stay classy.